Hi, I'm James at British Customs. Today we're going to install our 2x2 drag pipe system on this 2024 Speed Twin 1200. As you can see, the exhaust system is already removed. So if you want to know how to do that, go check out our other video on how to remove the OEM exhaust system. So let's get started. So first thing we want to do is get our O2 sensors out of our stock exhaust and put them into the new exhaust. So with a 17mm wrench, loosen that up. Get a little anti-seize on there before you put them in. Don't get the anti-seize on the sensor itself, just want it on the threads. Screw it in. 17mm wrench. Tighten it up. Don't make it so tight that you break the sensor. You just want to snug it up so it's not going to come loose. Do the same thing on the other side. So next thing you want to do is check the fitment of the crossover pipe. Make sure it's going in there. And what's really helpful is you find the way that it goes in the easiest, which seems to be this side. So it's nice to get it on the tight side first when you put the pipe together, and then you can slide the loose side into that a little easier. I mean, they should both be easy enough, but sometimes it's a little tighter than others. This one's good on both sides, really. So first thing we want to do before installing the pipe is we want to install our kickstand stop. And when you get your stop, this is the way it should look, with this bend going away from the bumper there, so that it sticks off of the frame. You can see it would go in any position. If it's the other way, it's coming up underneath the frame. So if you get it like this, where the bend is coming onto the same side as the bumper, we're aware of some of them may have gone out assembled wrong. You just need to put a little silicone spray on that, pull that out, and flip it around so that it looks like this. So now, using our 8mm Allen hex bit, you pull off the rear. Rear screw. I'm going to get the longer bolt from the kit. I'm going to slide it through our kickstand bumper and then put the spacer on top of that. Get the bolt started. Again, using our 8mm Allen hex bit. I'm going to install it. Get it snug. Make sure your kickstand is hitting it the way it should. And then we're going to torque that bolt down to 40 Newton meters. Just double check your kickstand again after you've tightened it. So the next thing we want to install is we got these two little washers that come in the kit. They go right behind this bracket here, which just spaces the cable out just enough. Otherwise, this just touches the pipe. So that'll take it off of there and keep the heat away a little bit. So using that 8mm socket, pull these two screws out. And one is longer than the other. The one in the front is the long one. The one in the back is the short one. Get that washer up behind there. So. So now we want to torque these two bolts down to 10 Newton meters. So also in the kit, there should be two exhaust gaskets. They go in here, and they will probably just fall right out. when you put them in. So if you just put a couple little dots of grease on there, it'll help hold them in place until you get the pipe on. So now we're ready to install our left header. I'm going to take your crossover and get it in there first. And then we're going to get the back end. We need to get this piece up and under our shifter there. If you go forward a little bit, it slides right into place. Get your head pipe in there. So now the next thing we want to do is we need to get this washer. I'm just going to hold it behind there. Get the short screw from the kit. Using our 6mm Allen hex bit. Going to screw it in. And the reason for that washer is just to keep it off of that bolt right there. If you don't put that washer, it's going to be rubbing on that bolt. So now we can get our flange installed. Make sure you have your opening for your O2 sensor on the top. Slide that in. Get the nut started. So now we're ready to install the right side. You want to get the head pipe into the head. And then we can connect it to the crossover. So now we just want to reinstall the stock hardware here. And this washer in the back is important because that's just rubber that you'll be tightening on if you don't put that washer. Just make sure it's there. Let's get that started. Okay, so now we can put our flange on. Make sure your opening is going to the O2 sensor. You may have to wiggle the pipe a little bit. Help get that on. Get the nuts started. And now we're ready to tighten everything up. So first bolt we want to get tight is the rear left mounting bolt. Using our 6mm Allen hex bit. Tighten that up. So now we're going to tighten up the left side flange bolts. So a 12mm socket. It's got to be a deep socket to get over the acorn end of it. Okay, now we can do the other side. So before you tighten this pipe down completely, just make sure that you got your crossover inserted in there. Otherwise, you're going to have to take this pipe off and reline it up. So now we want to tighten down this bolt. Got 12mm wrench to hold the nut in the back. 12mm socket. So now we can tighten up the flange bolts. Again, this is a 12mm deep socket. It doesn't need to be a universal swivel like this. It's just something I tend to use on exhaust nuts, because once in a while you do need that, but not on this particular pipe. So now we want to put our springs. We got one going from here to here, and then the other one from here to the other pipe. I'm going to start off with this one. It really doesn't matter which one you start with. Pick whichever one you want. And to put these springs on, you really want to have a spring puller. I mean, there are other methods. You could use a cable tie it around there and pull it over and cut the cable tie off. I've done it that way. does work, but this is definitely the easiest way and an easy tool to fabricate yourself if you had to. So when you take this off doing this exhaust system, if you watch the other video, we just pulled this off where we take the stock headers off. But when you're doing this exhaust, you actually want to pull your foot peg off so you can install the 24 millimeter bolt that comes in the kit. That's what these are for, so that when you put this together, you won't have this big bolt sticking out here. You can put it back together like that if you want. That's up to you, but it looks way better with the short bolt, and that's why we include it. So we're going to go take this foot peg off and install this bolt. So now to take this apart, we need to get that clip off of there. If you just push on that, you can get this off of there a little bit, which helps you not scratch it. There's a little flathead screwdriver. Start to pry it. Now, you want to keep your hand underneath where that ball is. That's what keeps it all locked in place when you move the peg. That ball is spring-loaded, so you don't want to shoot it across the garage. Pull the pin out. Now we can pull this bolt out. I'm going to put the 24 millimeter bolt in. I'm going to bring it over to the bike and install it. So now we want to make sure that nub is lined up with the hole. Push that in. Get our stock nut. I'm going to put it on there. Now with a 6 millimeter Allen, you could either do this, if you got a socket that'll fit back there, you can do it with a ratchet. If you don't, so now we can tighten that up. Now we can put the foot peg in. Use a little grease, hold that ball in place. Slide it into place. Get the pin in. Put the clip on. Make sure it's all working properly. Repeat the same steps for the other side. So before you fire these pipes up, you want to rub them down with some alcohol and get rid of any fingerprints that are on here, because if you fire it up and you got a thumbprint on there, it's going to be permanent. So get a little alcohol on a rag. Wipe. So that's it for the drag pipe exhaust system installation on this 2024 Speed Twin 1200. You can see how it looks. If you want to hear how it sounds, go check out the sound clips. Thanks for watching.